Hi there, thank you for joining me on this short tutorial video in which I'm going to talk you through how to set up Zoom for LifeGroup gatherings and then to talk about how to schedule those meetings. What you can see on screen here is my screenshot. I'm just going to talk you through very quickly the settings which I found are helpful. I've been running LifeGroups via Zoom for about 6 months now, so I have got some experience. So you can set it up any way you like, but I find that these settings are the ones that I've found to be optimal. So I'll just talk you through it and then you can set up your own Zoom account appropriately. Now, the first thing you have to do if you want to host a Zoom meeting is that you have to create an account on Zoom.us. You can see the link here. It's a free account. Don't need to pay for a pro account for what I'm going to talk you through. Simply sign up and then through your email will be authenticated through the usual kind of system. Then when you log in, you'll find yourself at the window that you can see here. And so this is the personal profile window, and you can see here profile, meetings, webinars, and so on. I'm going to draw straight our attention immediately to settings and click on that. And then you'll see that the settings have 5 different sections to their schedule the meeting, in meeting, basic, advanced, email notification, and other. So quickly just going to take you through those and show you what to switch on and off. Most of the things are just a simple tab button here, off and on, that you can see there, and you get this little settings have been updated. So let me just quickly talk you through them then. So host video, start meetings with host video on. I usually have this set to on. That's your camera. You just have to make sure that when you switch on your Zoom meeting, you're ready for that. You're not in your pajamas or something like that. So host video, that's you. Participants video, so start meetings with the participant video on. They can change it during meeting. Again, I have that as on. It just saves a lot of messing about. Otherwise, you'll have someone's profile on your Zoom call and you'll be trying to get them to switch their camera on and all sorts of things. It's not worth the hassle. Just put it on. Audio type, telephone and computer, yes. Join before host. This allows your group members to join the meeting before the host arrives. I would say I have that on. And then for reasons I'll show you in a minute or two. Use personal meeting ID when scheduling a meeting. That is off. Okay. Personal ID PMI when starting an instant meeting. Off again. Require a password when scheduling new meetings. My recommendation, unless you're going to talk about something very, very secret, and you can set it for each meeting, but generally speaking, that is off. You don't need that. Similarly, for instant meetings, I have that as off. Require a password, off. Embed password in meeting link in one click, off. There's a lot of things getting switched off here. Require password for participants joining by phone is off. Mute participants upon entry. Now again, some videos you watch will tell you to do that. I actually prefer not to, because I quite like the cacophony that you have, a little bit of sound going on at the very beginning. People trying to say hello and you're trying to tell them to switch on their microphone and stuff. So I just have that switched off so that we can hear them. Upcoming meeting reminder, receive a desktop notification of an up and coming meeting. I have that switched on for the very first time. So here we are now in meeting basic. Require encryption, just leave it off. Chat, allow meeting participants to send messages visible to all participants. I have that on. And if you don't want people to save the chat, you can switch it here. Now, I don't put that on because in the chat, as you'll see, I quite like to cut and paste Bible verses and things that we're talking about. So I quite like the thought that the people could save the chat if they want and read it later. Private chat, allow meeting participants to send a private one-to-one message to other participants. I have that, surprise, surprise, off. Simply because people can communicate outside of my meetings however they like, but I don't really want, for safeguarding reasons and so on, I don't want people sending one-to-one messages. Auto-saving of the chat, automatically save all meeting in chat so that the host do not need to manually save the text or chat, blah, blah, on, yeah. Play sound when participants join or leave, I have that on. It sounds like a little doorbell and it's heard by host and all attendees. That's all good. File transfer. Hosts and participants can send files through the in-meeting chat. I have that as yes. If you get bombarded with them, which you shouldn't, I've never had it happen, but you could switch it off. So it is on. Feedback to Zoom, I have that off, and same off for display of survey. Allow host to put attendee on hold. Now, I put that on as a yes, and the reason for that is if someone is having a real problem with their computer or they've got pneumatic drilling going on in the background, sometimes you just have to kick them out of the meeting effectively and give them time to get themselves sorted and come back on. So I have that as on. I've not used it, but it's good to have that. Always show the meeting control bar, so all during the meeting. I quite like that to be on. Show Zoom windows during screen share. No, because we don't. You'll see in a minute. Screen sharing. Allow host and participants to share their screen or content during meetings. I have that as yes, but I set it as host only. It's one-way traffic on this one. I haven't yet had a situation where I've needed the group to share something. I just prefer it to be one way, so I do that. And who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Just the host, and save that one. Okay, disable desktop screen share for users. Disable desktop or screen share in a meeting and only allowed sharing of selected applications. Just leave that off. Okay, allow participants to use annotation tools to add information to shared screens is off. Whiteboard is off. Remote control is off. Nonverbal feedback, this is a choice that you can have. I quite like this one. You can put that on. It just puts, you'll see in a minute or two, it puts a little kind of icons at the side that people can click to say you're going too fast or going too slow, can't hear you, can't hear you. Allow removed participants rejoin. So if you kick that person off because they've got a pneumatic drill going on in their kitchen, they've sorted it out, they're ready to come back in, let them rejoin. So that's on. Here we go. Now we're in the in-meeting advanced area. This is important, this one. Breakout rooms. Allow host to split the meeting participants into separate smaller rooms is on. Allow host to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. Yes. Save. Remote support is off. Closed captioning is off. Save captions is off. Far end camera control is off. Virtual background, switch it off. Okay, people don't need pictures of the Humber Bridge in behind their picture. Just let them have it as it is. You can see everything else here is all switched off, and I think I'm quite happy that that is the case. Now if you want to be really cheeky, you can put attention tracking on. What happens there is that if someone decides you're too boring in your Zoom, they can, if they're swapping to watch The Simpsons, you get a notification that they're not paying attention, but it's up to you. Waiting room, this is an important one. I have the waiting room on, and I'll explain that in the seminar if you've been part of that. But basically what happens with a waiting room is that people can come to the meeting a few minutes early, and instead of all chatting to each other, they're held in a waiting room. And then so if the meeting's at 7 p.m, I actually like pressing go on the meeting as from a host point of view at 7 p.m, and then everybody comes into the group at once. My key reason for that is that you only have to go through the introductions once, and so people can say hello to each other, introduce themselves. Anybody new can talk through who they are and introduce themselves. Show join from your browser link. Allow participants to bypass Zoom application download process. I think that is a yes. Okay, that means they don't have to have downloaded the app, but can actually watch on Zoom online. Okay, here we go. Email notification. This is emails that you're going to get. Okay, so when an attendee joins the meeting before you just put that as off. Otherwise, you're going to get 12 emails. When a meeting is cancelled, I usually leave that on and I get a notification. All right. Everything else is beautiful. It's just leave it as it is. You get to the end, and that is all the settings that you need.